Welcome back. Let's get back to politics. 2027 is ahead of us. The Electoral Act has been signed, sealed, and delivered. Controversy ensued from it. They're asking for a re-amendment of the amendment. And now primaries are up for just about 1 month or two. And so there's a lot of rush at this moment politically. Let's bring in the national chairman of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, Bishop Amakri, joining us virtually from Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Bishop Amakri, thank you for coming on the program. Bishop, can you hear us? Oh, there. Let's try again. Bishop, can you hear us?
Good morning, Kayode. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your network, but we hope we can squeeze in a few questions because of the time we have. But I want to throw in a quote from, there's an open letter written by Professor of Strategy and Development, Anthony Killer, to the president. He said, so this is an excerpt of that quote. He said, Mr. President, over 80% political support from elected leaders will still be troubling in any sane society, for politics is not theology. Leaders are not gods. An agreement, when it approaches unanimity, stops being evidence of excellence and starts becoming evidence of fear, convenience, and calculation. There's another part, again, if my producer can get back to it. Yes, history is unkind to moments of excessive uniformity, not because unity is bad, but because coerced or opportunistic unity hollows out meaning. A democracy where power faces no meaningful resistance begins to confuse applause for approval and silence with consent. Such a system may feel stable in the short term, but it becomes brittle in the long run. In other words, it's saying this defection teetering towards a one-party state. Now we have 30 governors in the APC. It's not good for the polity, especially with what we're seeing with the big parties. How are you weighing in on this, Bishop?
Thank you, Mr. Geoffrey. First, let me also let Nigerians know that what we are seeing today in our politics is, I would say, it's a self-inflicted, disease that Nigerians actually feel, kind of inflicted on themselves. How did we get here? For example, it's because Nigerians voted for some persons. You keep hearing people saying the vote does not count. Who told you vote does not count? You see, when people have chanted to you, people have told you that power is taken by force. What it means is that they are telling you that they are ready to die. They are ready to do every sort of thing to see that they take power. And then if the people also resist that strategy of this power is taken by force and say, no, you cannot take power by force. We also want to take governance by force. Now, you now compare between somebody who wants to take power and the people who want real governance. Which one goes, better? The people who want good governance also have to stand for that governance which they want by force, in ensuring that the people who come into power must be people whom they elected into power. So now this is where the missing point is. The missing point is that the electorate themselves, what have they done in contributing to ensure that they stand fit on the day of election by not allowing themselves to be induced? Electoral inducement, for example, also is the reason why we are where we are today. When people already have a mindset that the only time they make some little token of money, 5,000, 10,000 on election day, and buy their votes. So for me, Geoffrey, honestly, at some point, if you notice, I try to refrain myself from talking these days, even on media or coming to. Why? Because we've been talking without action. Nigerians have left governance in the hands of only politicians, forgetting that they are also critical stakeholders in ensuring that we build an egalitarian society of our dream. My opinion, for me, I feel that Nigerians need what I would call mind revolution. There must be mind revolution going forward in how we elect our leaders.
Mr. Makri, just before you came on, we had, quite an interesting conversation with a member of the House of Representatives, and we took him up on the position of the House on Electoral Act Amendment 2026 and specific items about direct party primaries and the Electoral Act, Section 60 to be precise. And he was quite vehement in his position that the National Assembly has a responsibility to introduce legislation that would guarantee the ability of Nigerians to elect credible leaders, and that, as far as electronic transmission of results is concerned, development should be deliberate, not in a hurry. I wonder if you align with him on his position about those critical items on Electoral Act 2026, and perhaps if you have other reservations about the disposition of this current 10th Assembly on our electoral document.
The man you are talking about is not a member of APC. He's not the man I saw wearing APC cap.
Indeed, Honorable Clement Jimbo is a member of the House of Representatives from the APC ruling party.
Would you say APC or APC?
APC.
APC. He's a member of APC. So what else did you expect him to say? You see, let me tell you, Nigerians were busy talking about the real-time electronic transmission of result, right? The Trojan horse strategy by this 10th Assembly, they were deceiving people with that Section 60, what do you call it? The real-time transmission of result, that section, which is in the Section 60. Not knowing that the real thing that they want to achieve, and that was why you could see that the jet speed in which the president even signed into that law, because they had already, these are things that they had already, state managed over the years or over time, and that is why you could see that even the APC started this the digital membership drive, some months back years ago, because they had already, the argument they keep giving to you is they will tell you the majority will have their way and that minority will always have their say. And the truth of the matter, what we have actually not interrogated strongly is it all the time that this majority, whatever they say, is it all the time that they are right? In most cases, 98%, especially in politics, whatever you hear majority saying, yay, and the government will be hit, it is actually not, it is to the detriment of the citizens. And I can tell you that any day, anytime. You could see that the voices of the minority is always the one making sense, that is aligning with the wishes of the citizens. So, but majority will always depend on politics, because many of them don't think about nation building. Many of them think about the next election, how they can win the next election. So you see, like I said, my dear sister, at some point I get to a point that sometimes I begin to ask. And the problem is that truly, these people have their way most times because there are also the electorate. Can you imagine, for example, let me give an example. Will be a place like APC will be assembling people for political activities. You see there, you see on the background, you ask yourself a question.
Bishop, we seem to be having yes. Bishop, we could get in some of your thoughts, and they are well stated, but we seem to be having network connection as well as one for time. Maybe another rescheduling will be better for us so that we can get the full value of what you're important. You're a national chairman of a political party, so your opinion is very, very valid.
Before we go, maybe.
Yeah, you just have like 30 seconds. The network isn't working.
Can you hear me?
We can't hear you properly. Just 30 seconds so that we don't have that distortion.
Okay. Okay. I'm very sorry. I wish that I have a better platform to be able to come on board. This is our networking. But let me, like you say, 30 seconds. This is my message. The National Assembly should know that they did not elect themselves to that National Assembly. The people elected them. And if they think that they will go in contrary, what we call they are now deploying the euphemism of still decapitated politics that they are playing now. Posterity will judge them in the future.
All right. Well said. Bishop Amakri is the national chairman of the YPP. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We do appreciate.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a break now. When we come back after the break, we'll talk to women. It's National Women's Month, Women's Day. However you want to look at it, it's women's season right now. So we want to make the most out of it. Two ladies are joining us right here in our Lagos studios. Join us again.